They are two of the faces seen in paintings at the Tennessee State Capitol, Samuel Morgan,
a prominent businessman in Nashville,
and William Strickland,
one of the best, if not the best, Greek revival architect in the entire country at the time.
But these men are not just on the walls they helped to build, they are inside them too. Literally.
His remains are deposited within this wall.
Historian Jeff Sellers knows these stories all too well, compiling images of the Capitol building in a book.
We all own this building as Tennesseans, and it's one of the most beautiful and most historic buildings in the state.
Sellers says that's the message of pride and prominence that Tennessee leaders planned to send in the 1800s with their new Capitol building in Nashville.
The home of President Andrew Jackson. Really, there's a lot of statesmen, politicians that are on the national stage at this time.
They wanted a big-name architect to build their Capitol. Wealthy merchant and Capitol building commissioner Samuel Morgan hired William Strickland, who designed notable Philadelphia structures like the Second Bank of the United States, the Merchants Exchange, and in Music City, the Downtown Presbyterian Church.
He really wants to make this the crowning achievement in his career, and he does.
Strickland requested to be buried in the building and designed his own tomb.
Within a few months, he was on the steps of the post office, the National Post Office, down along the public square, walking up the steps, and he slumped over.
Strickland died in 1854 and was entombed a day later in a key location.
The Northeast is the cornerstone of a building.
The building was completed about 5 years later, on May 19th, 1859.
It's a testament to not only Strickland himself for his design, it's a testament to the workers of the Capitol building, those that were enslaved, those that were free, those that were in prison.
During those 14 years of its construction, Morgan never left the project.
He just really invested himself in it. You hear stories about he and Strickland not getting along. They got along. Morgan respected Strickland for his design, and Strickland depended on Morgan to get the appropriations from the General Assembly that he needed to finish the project.
Morgan even spent his own money to help see the building's completion. His body was entombed into the walls at the request of state leaders about 18 months following his death.
The General Assembly being in session, kind of stopped session on Christmas Eve, which is amazing, and came down here. The governor had a speech, and they entombed his remains in the south portico of our state capitol.
To forever associate him with the Capitol.
Two men, now forever part of what's become one of the oldest working state capitals in the country.
It's also a testament to the state of Tennessee's upkeep of this building and the preservation of it. The generations of Tennesseans have committed themselves to preserving this beautiful building.
Reporting in Nashville, Nikel Smith, News 2.
Tennessee lawmakers passed a resolution this year recognizing the 15 enslaved persons who helped build the Tennessee State Capitol. We've spent all day exploring hidden treasures across Tennessee. You can see the rest of our special reports online at WKRN.com.